Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to, well, what would be round 8 of the IMB Racewear GT3 Championship, but of course we had to postpone last round at Misano, so technically this is round 7, but on the calendar it was round 8. But let's bring up the times here then in this qualifying session. So it's currently Adam on provisional pole with a 131.7, with Cameron Martin not far off at all, but I think we will expect the times to come down maybe into the 130s as the track starts to go from fast to possibly optimum. But Cameron Martin is currently 3/10 up on this lap. This will put him on provisional pole. Looks like Adam slowing down, try and set himself up for another lap here. You can see them just in front. In fact, he's going to give Martin a bit of a tow. It's going to help him here as he comes up towards the line, and Martin crosses the line there, does a 131.530, and he's going to continue. He's got a tow now coming down towards turn one. Very fast left-hander here, and you can use pretty much all of the runoff there. You can be all four wheels off the track. And Adam now a 10th up, but he's going to need more than that. Martin's still looking for an improvement this time around as well. Let's look down Kutcher. Oh, looks like Tuominen is going to cross the line. Kutcher is 2/10 up. Tuominen being put down there to P5. Matheson goes up to P4 with a 132.1. And Adam might have some competition around here at Valencia. Maybe he's brought out the industrial sandbags, but I highly doubt that at the moment. But let's see, maybe he's just getting it warmed up into the groove. But Martin is purple at the moment on this lap, so he may be able to hold on to the fastest lap here and improve. Adam is 2/10 up, now 1/10 up. He's lost loads of time on the exit. Martin is now a 10th up, so really pushing the car. 2/10 up here, 3/10 up here for Martin. What a brilliant exit out the final corner. It looks like he lost it on the exit. He's still going to hold on to provisional pole here. There we go. It's 9 thousandths as Adam crossed the line, and Martin just put a few more hundredths on Adam there. And Adam returning to the pits, doesn't want to give Martin that slipstream. Tuominen now was 4/10 up. It looks like he's made a mistake coming towards this final sector, or up towards the final corner he goes. 2/10 up now, and I think he may lose it on the exit here. He didn't use a whole lot of the exit cut, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of an improvement for Tuominen. He does a 132.2, but still in P6 as he returns the car to the pits. Vesala now in P11, 4/10 up, and he's still got a bit to go on the track at the moment. Still got another 30 seconds to go, so around one more sector for Vesala. But let's take a quick look at the standings now coming into this round. So it's Adam leading the championship on 508 points. That doesn't mean he's won the championship just yet. Malili is on 475 points there, so not far off at all. If Adam has a bad result or has a DNF for whatever reason, Malili can still take the championship win here. Adam obviously having to miss the last round, I believe, due to power outages, but I don't think that's going to stop him this round. Demarchi then in P3, who I believe is down in P9 at the moment in this qualifying session, but Demarchi in P3 there on 427 points. Tuominen in 4th on 415. Martin in 5th on 383. Matheson in 6th on 381. Van Hoorn in 7th on 348. Ulrich in 8th on 338. So exactly 10 points behind. Vesala in 9th on 333. Ramshield in 10th on 303. Tied with Barth, who isn't here today, so he's going to drop down the order in the championship. Novak also isn't able to make it today, so he will drop down there. Vozdetsky E13, and your bad boy there, John Jig, also known as, is in P14 on 276. I believe he isn't here today, so this will be his drop round pretty much. But Vesala puts it into P9 and doesn't look like he's up on his time this lap. Now, it's qualifying session very early in the morning, so it's still fairly dark here at Valencia, but even though the temperatures are quite warm, 25 degrees track and ambient, and I think in the race we're going to see them even higher. In the practice session we had them at around 30 to 35, and that is pretty much summertime there for you. Looks like Adam slowing down, setting himself up for another lap here, and he's not got much time this qualifying session to improve. But Martin has somehow pulled it out the bag here. He's found lots of pace at Valencia. Now we know the Ferrari is a very quick car here, the Porsche likewise, but the Ferrari is just something else at Valencia at the moment. No, in fact, Mullard has just put it on pole there. So in the last couple of corners he gained so much time, and he's just done a 131.307. So now Martin down to P2, Adam down to P3. We could have some brilliant racing this race if the qualifying times are this close. Vasala is now half a second up. We could see him towards P8. See that car bouncing on the exit. That's one of the most lethal curbs here at Valencia. Most of the curbs otherwise are pretty flat, and that's why we will see drivers extending track limits like that. I think Vasala, no, he's still just in there, luckily. But that's the thing with flat curbs, drivers will push over the limit and they can easily end up picking up track limit warnings, and in the race it could be a drive-through for them. Obviously in qualifying they only invalidate their lap, and as Van Hoorn goes really wide there out of turn 1, so that's his lap invalidated. But just as I was saying, flat curbs allow the drivers to take a bit more advantage of the track space they've got, as Vasala bounces over the inside curb and into the gravel he goes. Looks like he'll return to the pits. Brilliant timing as we're speaking about track limits. Ulrich a 10th up now, approaching the last sector. It looks like Martin 2/10 up. Where is he on the track? The number 44 car. He is not in the last sector just yet. He's nearing the end of the second sector, or he's, well, pretty much in the middle of the second sector at the moment. But he needs more than a 10th and a half here to try and put the car on pole. It's not going to be easy for Martin. Looks like he is pretty much already on the limit of what he can do in this qualifying session, and Adam is on an invalid lap, so he won't be improving. He really needs to try and get in a lap here, otherwise he may not be starting P1 for, I think, one of the first times this season. And Mullard is slightly up, but he's only just started a lap, and Martin 4/10 down currently, but he's going to go again to try and improve once more. 2 minutes, a 10th up. It looks like he's got some traffic in the form of DeMarchi, who doesn't seem to be on a lap as he moves out the way, but 2 minutes backed off as well. Now, where is Mullard? Still going here. We'll see if we can get an onboard lap with Mullard if there's enough time left at the end, or if he continues to go out for another lap. But let's have a look at the comments then as well. We've got Cody, good to see you. We've got Joel saying go Matheson and 2 minutes. We've got John Jig as well. Cody saying he wants to join still. It's too late now. Dee saying evening all. Deedee's out on track currently. Deedee is currently Vasala, P8 on the grid at the moment, and Mullard is about to start a lap, but Adam 2/10 up. This could be pole here for Adam. The number 9 car is still got another sector to go, so there's more time in it for Adam, but he's left it till the last minute here. But what can Adam do? I don't think we will get an onboard with any of the drivers just yet. We need to watch Adam if he can put it on pole. He's lost a 10th though, so he's had a horrible exit. Looks like he's gained a bit now as he jumps over the curb. Still 2 tenths up as he approaches the penultimate corner, up towards the final corner now. And I think for Adam, is it going to be on the track limits? Yes, it is. And for Adam, he's going to put it on provisional pole. Crossing the line, there we go, 131.177, a 10th quicker than Mullard. Not much less than the gaps usually are in qualifying. But he's taken provisional pole here, and Mullard now into the pits, so that's his qualifying session over. The only driver, no, Martin now into the pits. What can Kutcher do? He's 8 tenths off in this qualifying session. That doesn't look like he's going to be able to find that here on this lap. 2 minutes, 2 tenths up here. He could possibly get into P6 or maybe even P5, and 3 tenths up as he approaches the final corner. What can 2 minutes do? Looks like he's a bit too late on the power there. He's lost a 10th or maybe 2 tenths as he exits the final corner. But there we go. He's possibly going to put it in P5. Yes, P5. But there we have it, ladies and gents. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of the race. So on the formation lap now, as we can see, Adam took pole by a 1/10.5 there to Mullard in P2. And that will be Adam starting on pole once again with Mullard on P2, but much closer this time round than it's been throughout the championship. Martin in P3 is also one to watch out for. Matheson in P4, I think his best qualifying yet of the season. Turman in P5, Kutcher in P6, Ulrich down in P7, the Aston Martin not the best around Valencia, Visala in P8, and look at all the Ferraris at the top. Van Hoorn in P9, Demarchi down in P10, Blanchett in P11, Mitchell in P12, Green in P13, and to round off the field, Batteron in P14. Let's have a look then. We are nearing the end of the lap. The drivers will be lining up double file now. Drivers rounding the final corner, and Adam starting on pole. He's got the inside line going into turn 1, but Mullard, if you can hold it round the outside and get a good start, it might be, you might have a good chance of taking the race lead into turn 2. Turn to a left-hander as well, but we are green there. Adam off to a good start. Mullard off to an even better start, I think. No, Adam pulls towards the racing line, and Mullard has to watch out for Martin here. Martin in the background looking for a move down the inside, but backs out of it. Turn 1, not really an overtaking opportunity unless you're already side by side here, but Martin looking down the inside of Matheson leaving him the room. Martin looks like they're still going to be side by side, both the drivers leaving just enough room for each other on the circuit. I think Martin's going to get this one done. No, still side by side, and look how close the top 2 are. Adam really being pressured by Mullard here, and we've only just started the race. Really putting on the pressure early to try and force Adam into a mistake. Adam has competed in the highest level of esports. He's not going to be phased one bit at this moment in time. Matheson losing that position to Martin. So Martin back up into P3, holding on against Matheson. Tried to get the overtake done on Martin, but didn't work out. Turman in P5, and looks like there's a battle going on between Breen and Batteron in P13 and 14. But look at this, Kutcher has got a bad exit. Demarchi's all over him now, and the car's really bouncing over that curb. Ulrich nearly losing the car because of that. The drivers are going to be on the pretty much the highest fuel loads they'll have throughout the race, unless they decide for an early pit stop. And Ulrich into the pits. He's got a drive-through penalty, and that's just made matters even worse there for Ulrich. Such a shame. So he's going to drop right down the order. He's going to have to make his way back through the field. And you see how wide Turman went. That's still within track limits. So as long as you're on the green, you're pretty much within the track limits. But he's missed the apex here, and Kutcher's going to have a good chance of getting past. He's got to be careful. Demarchi very close behind, but no, Kutcher doesn't go for a move just yet. It's difficult with how Valencia is laid out. It's a very well flowing track, and overtaking around here is not easy by any means. This is what we'll see today. Drivers will be struggling to get past. Turman holding on well here. Kutcher P6, Demarchi P7. We have to go back to the top 2. In fact, Martin is caught up now And even Matheson has caught up. The top four bunching up together once again, and these top four pulling away from the rest of the field. 2 minutes over 2 seconds back now to the top four. And who's that off? That's DeMarchi, very wide, and in fact he might be under attack now from Visala and Van Hoorn, but they're not going to be close enough going to the braking zone. Visala late in the brakes. This is some serious battling going on throughout the field here. And looks like back to Mullard and Martin side by side. Mullard having to go defensive now, going in towards turn one. This is going to allow Adam to pull away. They do not want to be battling this early on. And that's Matheson now on the outside. Can he do it round the outside here? No, he's surely going to have to back out of that. Cameron Martin's got the racing line, and he does. But they are losing time corner after corner here to the race leader. Adam's now pulled a second, and Mullard, well, made a bit of a mistake that last lap. He needs to be consistent here if he wants to keep up with Adam. If there's any more inconsistencies in his lap time, or if he makes some more mistakes, Adam is going to pull away even further, and Mullard is going to have to start thinking about the drivers behind him rather than in front. And we've got another drive through here for Ulrich again. Ulrich with 2 drive-through penalties, and it's only been 5 minutes into the race. So he's really not enjoying this track, is Ulrich. Really struggling to keep the car within the track limits. Let's go to the battle with DeMarchi, Visala, Van Hoorn, Mitchell, Blanchette. All those drivers in a massive train here. It looks like Batterone has made a massive mistake. He's dropped down to P14, and that's Ulrich pass now as well. You can see in the background this battle not far off, but they're not letting Adam get away anymore. That last time around he was about a 10th or so quicker than Mullard. He's not managing to pull away as much as he was before, with Martin so close. Mullard doesn't want to be defending at this stage in the race. I think these two just need to start working together, try and catch back up to the leader. And there we go, Ulrich now to the pits once more for his drive-through penalty, and that's Martin looking down the inside here. Mullard, is he going to let him through? He might do. No, he's still going to fight for that position. And I think for Mullard, his best bet is to probably let Martin through. Martin seems to have a bit more pace at the start of the opening stages of this race. But look at that, they've lost nearly another second Adam now just by battling, by going side by side into one of the corners, and they've allowed Matheson to close back up as well. We've got Jondrik saying good luck Mullard, go get that win. Lepre in the comments saying good luck Carl, let's not disconnect. Looks like he's been okay so far, so maybe his technical issues have been sorted out. And that's DeMarchi very wide there. That battle not over yet, because we've still got Visala and Van Hoorn battling for position, and behind them it's Mitchell and Blanchette, P10 and P11. It's still pretty much a 4-car battle. You can see them just in the distance there on the start-finish straight. But down towards turn 2, these three still very, very close. And Adam, what did he do that last time around? 131.8. Martin a 132.2. So almost, well, 4/10 slower that last time around. And looks like, is that a mistake from Adam? He's lost heaps of time here to Martin and Mullard. Yes, I think it is a massive mistake here from Adam. And now we're seeing these three, Martin, Mullard and Matheson, start to close in once again to the race leaders. It's not over by any means, and Adam is not going to be running away with this one so easily. And Martin, after getting past Mullard with a bit of a mistake there, missing the apex by a mile in fact. They're struggling for consistency here is Mullard. Matheson sticking with him for now, but Martin really closing in on Adam, and this could be the fastest lap of the race here from Martin as he rounds a final corner. What's he going to do? Is it going to be a 31.3 here from Martin? It is a 31.3, 5/10ths quicker than the fastest lap of the race from Adam. And Martin, that last time round, was 8/10ths quicker in terms of lap time. A 132.1 from Adam and 131.3 for Martin. So he is really catching up. And well, if Martin starts to catch up Adam, and those two start battling, Adam has to start defending if he wants to hold on to his race lead. This could bunch up the pack once more. Malini, Mathewson not far behind. Tuominen and Kucho as well are not far behind either. They're still currently battling here, P5 and 6, and looks like we have lost the drive. I think that is who did I say it was? Oh, that's someone off. That's Van Hoorn off. Ulrich is who we lost. So Van Hoorn's in the wall. He's in the tyre barriers, and I think that might be it for Van Hoorn. Yes, it is. Is it a disconnection or was it a retirement? I think it may have been a retirement there for Van Hoorn. That's a massive shame. So Cody in the comments, if you're watching, I think you may have put the curse on Carl, as he is no longer in the race anymore, and the top two now within a second of each other. The battle we want to be watching, or almost within a second of each other. And is that Batteron stopped on the gravel? Yes, it is. So lots of drivers making mistakes here, and looks like Kucho looking for a move into turn one on Tuominen, and Batteron still stopped there on the track. Not sure what's going on there with him, but he needs to get moving if he doesn't want to be disqualified here on the session. I think he's got going once again, so that's good to see. No more yellow flags on the circuit. But there we go, Mountain really closing in. That last time round, 4/10ths quicker. So he's lapping consistently quicker than Adam, lap after lap. And Adam, he's either not got the pace here at Valencia, or there's an issue, possibly with his tyre wear, or sorry, his tyre pressures, or some other issue where he's not able to keep that pace. But we see now Kucho, Tuominen still battling for position here. No position changes though between the two, and let's go on board here with Martin now as he tries to close the gap to Adam. You can see Adam opening up the corner a bit more into the final corner, but not taking that inside curve at the apex, and that's where Martin travels less distance than Adam and possibly gains some time on him as well. The Ferrari ridiculously quick here at Valencia, and that's Adam wide. Let's hope he hasn't got a track limit penalty there. Adam, you can see that the rear stepping out ever so slightly on that Porsche. That's possibly what he's been struggling with in this race, and that's not going to help his rear tyres. We know that Porsche overheats those rear tyres and wears them much quicker than a lot of the other cars. Very varying lines from both drivers here. And you can see that rear once again on that Porsche just stepping out. So Adam's got a bit of an issue here. Maybe to do with the setup. But he is struggling in that Porsche. He's having to fight the car every corner. The gap still 6/10ths between the two. Adam's picked up the pace a bit more now that Martin has closed in, but I mean Martin that last lap 32.0, so nowhere near his best lap of the race, but still nevertheless 2/10ths quicker than Adam, and a bit of mistake into turn one there from Martin, bit of understeer in fact You can hear the front tyres scrubbing. And now Kutscher right on the back of Tuominen as well. What can he do? He's been stuck behind Tuominen for a while now. But they can see Mathiesen up in front, so maybe they don't want to be battling just yet. Still 7/10 between Adam and Martin. So Martin's lost some pace here, and Adam with the rear out there through the corner. And are they side by side? No, they're not just yet. But wow, that's not what we've seen before. Adam was really struggling with the car, and I have a feeling those rear tyres are absolutely on fire now. So he's going to have to try and nurse them for the next few laps to get them down to temperature, so he can maintain some rear grip, some rear downforce. So otherwise, that rear is going to be all over the place, and he'll have no tyres by the time he decides to pit. I think as soon as the pit window opens, Adam's going to decide to pull the trigger, as Martin's going to go for an undercut, I'm sure. If not, Martin's could make use of his first tyres, although he just hasn't been able to lap what he was doing earlier on this race. And we're only 15 minutes in. That 1:31.3 seemed to be maybe a one-off push lap. Maybe he's managing his tyres a bit more now that he's noticed Adam sliding all over the place. Martin could get away with extending these tyres if Adam decides to pit early. And that could really help Martin here if he stays out in clean air. And if Adam pits early and has to navigate through some traffic, Martin's going to be at a huge advantage. Like I was saying, let's go Martin. He's doing an amazing job at the moment. Quite surprised to see him sticking with Adam. I think this is the closest we've seen anyone to Tarek Adam throughout the whole championship. So here we go on board the front left wheel cam on that Ferrari of Martin. He's closing in now. He's found a bit more of a rhythm, going down towards turn 2. Once again, varying lines between the two. And Kutscher and Tuominen still battling for position, but no changes between those two at all. And in fact, they are still 1.8 seconds back to Mathiesen, and Batterone now into the pits. Pit window hasn't opened yet, still 3 more minutes to go. Batterone apparently has some issues with his pedals, his equipment. He's going to have to retire from the race. Bit of a shame there for Batterone. Let's hope he can get it fixed for the last round. And I think we don't have a rear wing camera at the moment. There's some technical issues there with the cameras on board with the cars, so we'll have to stick with the onboard here with Martin, but he is losing a bit of time now once again to Adam and Kutscher. So close. We have to stick to these two because they are much closer. It looks like Tuominen now ahead. Oh no, Tuominen is still ahead. Kutscher looking for a move, forcing Tuominen to go defensive. And is he going to get a switchback going into turn 1? He has. They're now side by side, and Kutscher's got the inside for turn 2. That was a brilliant move, but it's not over yet. Still side by side. And can Tuominen hold it? No, he can't. So there we go. It's Kutscher now ahead after being stuck behind for so long. But it looks like Turman is not going to let him get away. He is fighting back hard here to regain that position off of Kutscher. But now that Kutscher's in open air and he's not stuck behind Turman, can he pull away? And if so, by how much? And back to the top two then. Oh, Martin's got... Oh my god, how... Of course we missed that. Of course we missed the battle for the lead. As soon as there's another battle going on, we missed the battle for the lead. So let's get a replay up to see exactly what happened here between the two. But it's now Martin in the lead of the race with the fastest lap as well. And Adam down into P2. Mullard not too far behind. Going to want these top two to continue battling. But at the moment it looks like Martin's going to be pulling away here. But here we go. We've got the replay of the overtake on Adam here that Martin made. So Adam not going defensive just yet. Martin's thinking about the exit. Here we go. Bad exit there from Adam through that left-hander. And Martin's going to look down the inside. They're still going to be side by side here. But with Martin having the inside line on a very tight corner, he takes that quite easily, and Adam isn't able to do anything there, so he drops down now to P2 and he's losing time after time, corner after corner. In fact, Mullard catching up now. And really, the battle between Adam and Mullard is the one we want to be watching out for. They are both close in the championship here. Mullard obviously had some pace in qualifying, but just hasn't been able to transfer it to the race. But he needs to be consistently quicker than Adam does Mullard if he wants to really close that gap and fight with Adam for a chance to take the win of the championship. On board with Adam for a bit. Let's get him on board for this lap. We are watching the battle between Mitchell and Vesala, which we have to bring up as well. I think we'll actually skip to them now, of course. And Mitchell looks like he's just got past Vesala there, so up into P8 he goes. And it's just timing, isn't it? They're a second apart, and then all of a sudden, one's got past the other. So we're going to have another replay of this move that Mitchell has made on Vesala. Let's see if we can find exactly what happened here. And it was actually, I believe, in the exact same place where Martin got the move done on Adam. So here you can see Vesala's not too close, but makes a huge mistake there. Gets onto the marbles as well, so he's got that on his tyres to deal with. And going into the braking zone, Mitchell's just got the overspeed, has the inside line. I think Vesala backs out of that quite massively as well. And now looking at the positions, Vesala's got back past Mitchell. So it was short-lived there for Mitchell, but no, they've switched again, and Mitchell's back up the inside of Vesala. These two chopping and changing positions here. Maybe Vesala toying with Mitchell a bit, or possibly trying to clean his tyres or cool them down after running over the marbles. And looking at the gaps now, the delta between Martin and Adam, 2.3 seconds. That's a huge gap now. And Adam struggling to get into the low 32s. Currently in a high 32, I believe a 32.7 or 32.8. He did that last time around. And for Mullard, it was a 32.5. And for a race leader, Martin, a 32.0. Adam's really struggling. I definitely think it's something to do with the setup. It includes tyre pressures as well. They could have them all wrong in this race. He's going to have to correct them in the pit stops. Will he pit this lap though, is the question. If he does, he's going to have to carry a lot of fuel a lot more fuel than the other drivers for his second stint. Might not be too much of a problem, but I think towards the end of the race where low fuel starts to matter, he could find himself struggling here. He's still battling for position now. Not much separating these two, just a second between Mitchell and Vasala. And let's go on board here with Vasala and on board with Mitchell as well. Bit of a mistake there from Vasala. That's where we saw him almost lose the car completely last time around. But neither of these drivers pitting just yet. Still staying out on track, but the gap's now 1.2 seconds between P8 and P9, Mitchell and Vasala. It seems like Vasala a bit hesitant on the throttle. I reckon he could have got on the power a bit earlier than that and deep on the brakes there into turn 2. That's not going to help his exit. Starting to lose a bit of time now to Mitchell. Is Vasala nearly 2 seconds back now? What do they do? That last lap, Mitchell was a 1:34.0, 1:34.3 for Vasala, so 0.3 difference between the two. Looks like we've got Matheson now into the pits. That's going to put Kutcher in front, 2 minutes in front as well. Matheson's going to start dropping down the order here. But back to our race leader, Martin. He's got a 3-second gap now to Adam. Consistently around half a second, or even more, faster than Adam per lap. I think if Adam doesn't pit soon, that gap's going to get bigger and bigger, and that damage is going to get worse and worse in terms of the championship, because Malili's closing in as well. Malili's still about 2 seconds back, but he seems to be inching closer ever so slightly. An interesting line there from Malili. But yeah, we do actually have one more round after this. It is Misano. Like I mentioned earlier, we did have a server issue. That will be redone. And it was shaping up to be a good race, was Misano actually, last time round. Last week. Then we had some flying cars and that was it. For the race, we had to red flag it. But it seems like the server issues have been sorted out. But Malili losing a bit more time now. He's dropping back, so maybe the tyres on his car quite worn. I mean, we are pretty much at the halfway mark, so you'd expect tyre wear to be fairly high, especially at this track. There's a lot of load being put onto the car in these fast sweeping corners. I think Mullard, if he wants a chance in this championship, he needs to get the overtake done on Adam, even if that's in the pit stops. There we go, Mullard pulling the trigger now. So you could possibly go for an undercut here on Adam. You get the fresh set of rubber and put in some really quick outlaps and possibly get past Adam while he's still on his old tyre set. So marching down to the pits as well. Vasala's reared back in. Mitchell. Any of these drivers, are they going to pit just yet? No, they're not. Could be 1 or 2 more laps for these two. But you can see that last time round for Adam was a 133 flat. And the pace starting to drop for pretty much all the drivers now. It just goes to show how much tyre wear there is at Valencia. I mean, Cameron Martin, his best lap of the race, a 131.3, and that last lap he did was a 132.7. So 1.4 seconds off, nearly 1.5 seconds off of his best lap, and I assume that's just down to the tyre wear. Yeah, because usually we see drivers starting to set their best laps towards the end of the first stint, where their fuel loads start to get quite low, and hence the car's quite lighter. But it's not the case here at all, and in fact Mullard seems to have had a horrible pit stop. He's down in P9 behind Matheson, so Mullard's made a very big mistake in the pits. Adam's now into the pits as well. So this will be interesting to see if it was either a horrible pit stop for Mullard, or Matheson maybe took a risk with tyres here and didn't change his tyres, so ended up out in front. But where is Adam? On track. That's Mitchell into the pits now as well. Adam is in the pits. Sorry, where is Mullard on track? Mullard in the number 3 car is coming up towards the final corner very shortly, with Matheson just ahead. Where's Adam? Has he been dropped from the box just yet? No, he hasn't. Should be going any minute now, and he is towards the end of the pit lane. There we go. He's been dropped down, and he is out of the pits. Where is Mullard? I don't think it's going to be close, actually. Not at all. So Adam is well ahead. Into turn 2 he goes, and that was a really bad pit stop from Mullard then. Almost, what's that, 5 seconds back to Adam. The gap was about 2 before they pitted. A really bad pit stop there from Mullard. And who has stayed out? So, looks like Vasala's still out on track, and I believe that's the only driver still yet to drive into the pit lane to serve their stop. Mullard now on the back of Matheson. You'll have to try and fight Matheson here to gain a position and a possible podium, I think it would be. But if Matheson stays ahead, I think that will be P3 overall for him. Mullard will be just off the podium. There we go, Vasala now into the pits. Mitchell was battling with Vasala before the pit stops, so Mitchell is currently on track. We'll get his view there on our secondary screen. We're going into turn 1 now, down the start finish straight into turn 1. He's got a bit of a slipstream, 0.8 is the gap, but it's not going to be too much of an effect. And that is Kutcher now out of the pits. Where's Tuominen on track? Tuominen, he's not close enough there. He's lost lots of time after Kutcher made that overtake. Back to Mullard. Where is Vasala? Still in the pits. Mitchell is approaching the final corner now. Where is Vasala? Still in the pits. Hasn't got going just yet. And Mitchell is... There we go. Vasala's dropped off the jacks. And I think this might be quite close. No, it's not actually. So Sala is at the end of the pit lane. That helps quite a lot. And the gap is a second. Oh, actually, no, it is quite close. It's just under a second between the two. So Vasala has actually got ahead of Mitchell after the pit stop. So the overcut has worked for him. Got himself into clean air. And there he goes. Now just 0.3 ahead of Mitchell. And let's see, what can Mitchell do? Let's go on board with him here. Just to have a look at this battle. Melili still struggling to get past Matheson, although they are so close here, coming up towards turn 2. Matheson turning in a bit early there to cover off the inside, to make sure that there's no space for Melili to send it up the inside there. The gap between the top two now, down to 2.3 seconds, so it is actually coming down. That last lap, 1:32.2 from Adam, and I believe that was Martin's out lap. So this is his first lap of the proper lap of the second stint that we'll see. We can judge lap times after that, but I'm sure he would have changed his tyres and he'd be looking to lap close to that 1:31.3 that he did earlier on in the race. Looks like Mitchell losing a bit of time now to Vasala. These two still so close. And on board with Melili here, he's going to look towards the inside. We're going to have to go trackside here, I think. And onto the helicam, and he sends it down the inside. Matheson's going to try and go for a switchback. He's got a better run, I think. Yes, you can see the closing speed here from... oops, no, that's the wrong camera view. From Matheson, and Melili's now got the inside there going to turn 1. Matheson's going to try and hang around the outside, possibly. No, he's possibly going to try for a switchback once again. And has he got his inside? Has he got his nose down the inside into turn 2? He does. And he's going to have the inside line, leaving him loads of room there. Could have squeezed him a bit more, I think. But back into P3 goes Matheson. Melili back down to P4. So I think for Melili, the lead of the race is possibly out of the question now. And he needs to think about getting himself onto the podium. Oh, huge mistake there from Matheson. He's going to have to go extremely defensive coming up towards the next corner. And Melili looking for the outside here, but isn't able to get it done. So Matheson once again holds on, but he's feeling the pressure. He's making a few mistakes here, a few silly errors that could cost him this position. And once again, not the best exit there from Matheson. And is Melili going to look down for a move down the inside? He thinks of it. But has that caused Matheson to go a bit deeper to the corner? Looks like it may have. Melili's now got the slipstream. Matheson trying to break that slipstream. Moves back over to the racing line. That's it. He can't move anymore. He's going to hold his line coming up towards turn 1. And Melili's not going to be able to get side by side here. Let's see, out of turn 1. Has he got a good enough run? He doesn't. But he's going to look for another move down in towards turn 2. No, thinks better of it. He stays just behind here. You can see he's just poking his nose up the inside into that gap where he could possibly go for a lunge. But he has got lots of time in this race to try and get past. So, the gap between the top two back up to 3 seconds. And he's looking for a move down the inside here is Melili. He's not going to get it done. Yeah, so gap between the top two back up to 3 seconds. And that last lap from Martin, a 1:31.7, and a 1:31.7 as well from Adam. But no time gained or lost for either driver. And a huge mistake there from Mullard, getting the rear out. And Blanchette now into the pits. But Blanchette, has he got a drive-through penalty? Yes, he does. He's just cleared it. Has closed that gap once again to Matheson, I think. Or Mullard, it's just a case of getting past. It's got the pace, but I'm not sure if the consistency there is there at the moment. That could just be because he's overdriving, trying to find a way past that bright pink Ferrari of Matheson. I'm sure he's going to be distracted by those colours as well. Pretty much in your face. He'll be thinking to himself, why did Matheson choose a pink car with those neon wheels? No, he probably won't be thinking that, but oh, very late on the brakes there from Mullard. Gonna go for a late apex here to try and get a good run, but the wheels been on the exit. The gap between the top two has come down ever so slightly. A mistake there from Matheson through the final corner. This is what Mullard needs to do. He needs to keep on the pressure to Matheson, force him to look in his rear view mirrors. Or force him to look in his mirrors more often, so that he focuses on what's behind him rather than the track in front. Matheson got quite a good exit there out of turn one. There we go, pit windows now closed, but that's not an issue for any of the drivers. Everyone has served their mandatory pit stop. And yeah, that last time round, Adam was 4/10 quicker than Martin. A 32.0 from Martin and a 31.6 from Adam. In fact, I think that was his fastest lap of the race so far, but still, or his personal best lap of the race so far. The fastest lap still going to Adam, a 1:30. Still going to Martin, a 1:31.327. Nearly a bit too far back to make the runs down the inside here. It needs to be closer, but it is a great opportunity for an overtake, as we've seen throughout this race. And Matheson and Mullard, they're now nearly 9 seconds back to Adam in P2. And Mullard was only about 2-3 seconds back before the pit stops, and just hasn't been able to carry over that pace, like we said. It looks like they're approaching from traffic. I believe that's Blanchette in P10. They're coming up to lap. Martin there, back onto some good pace of 1:31.6, 3/10 quicker than Adam. So it's chopping and changing between who's quicker. One lap, Martin will be quicker. The other lap, Adam will be quicker, and Mullard close enough this time to look for a move down the inside. He thinks of it, and he's going to go for it. Matheson's left the door wide open here. I'm surprised he did, but no, he shuts the door. He goes later on the brakes and doesn't allow Mullard to take that line. In fact, Mullard onto the grass now, and look who's closing up to these two. Kutcher, so this could be a 3-car battle, pretty much almost is. And this is going to be quite intense here. Battle for the final podium spot, P3. And we decided at the end of the race And it's going to be decided between 3 drivers here, Matthews and Mullard and Kutscher, and maybe even Tourmanen if you can catch up. He's got 17 minutes to close up, about 6 seconds here. Except they are approaching Blanchet just in front. Thoughts about moving out the way there, but he's a bit too far in front at the moment. I don't think there is blue flags just yet, but there should be shortly. Really eyeing up a move down the inside, tries to go for a dummy, but once again Matheson's seen it before from Mullard. He's not going to react to that. Let's see, Blanchet still not moving out the way, but of course these drivers, these lead cars, not close enough. I don't actually see any blue flags just yet on track, but he is a back marker. There we go, moves out the way now. Could have left it a bit longer, but earlier the better. And Mullard with a huge mistake, mounts the curb on the inside, and he's taken an interesting line there. Well, he's had to, because that's now put Kutscher on the inside for the right-hander. And there we go, Kutscher now ahead, but Matheson's got a bit of a buffer, a bit of breathing room now after having to defend for so long against Mullard. And Mullard down into P5, and Tourmanen still not catching up to them, even though they're battling. I think Tourmanen might be out of the picture for a possible podium here. And Mullard, he's got the slipstream, you can see he is closing in. He's got some more speed down the straight because of that toe. But it wasn't a big toe, it's just a small one. But yeah, it wasn't enough for Mullard to possibly go for a switchback or cause Kutscher to go defensive. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of the screen the rear view in cam of Kutscher and P4. Let's see, any more comments coming through? No, not yet. Although the racing is not dull whatsoever. Got to keep me entertained in the comments as well, guys. But Mullard is catching back up to Kutscher now. And they are slowly reeling in Matheson once again. Matheson's only just a second ahead of them. And whoa, really letting the brakes there from Mullard, almost tagging the back of Kutscher. That could have ended up with those two facing the wrong way. And Matheson would have absolutely loved that. Almost into the last 10 minutes of the race. I believe that was a short shift there from Mullard to avoid the wheel spin on the exit of the corner. And Mitchell and Vasala now very, very close here. Let's have a look. Mitchell has just got past actually, so Vasala was well ahead, but he's been making mistakes, and now that's allowed Mitchell to get past. Mistakes like that, Vasala very wide on the exit. And who have they got coming up to lap them? Or maybe not lapped him actually, I think they've just lapped Breen, who's down in P11. Onto the gravel he goes. Vasala and Mitchell have had some brilliant battles throughout this race. But we have to go back towards Mathesson, Kutscher and Mullard. Mathesson His relaxing time was short-lived. Butcher's now right in the back of him, and he's going to have to start defending again. And this is what I said earlier about this track. It flows so well that it's difficult to get any overtaking done here. I think up towards the final corner is a brilliant place for overtaking, and up towards turn 2, but if you can park the car on the apex, there's not really much anyone behind you can do. Immediately wide once again. Struggling with the car, it seems. Vasala, we have to go on board with the Vasala now as well. Right in the back of Mitchell. It looks like Vasala unable to close that gap just yet. He's got lots of time in the race left to go. 10 minutes is a lot of time. And for Vasala, I don't think he'd leave it to the last lap, but he wants to be close enough to keep on that pressure to Mitchell. And that's the main thing. Most of the overtakes are usually done when pressure is applied. The driver in front makes a mistake themselves rather than you actually forcing your way through. And that happens even at the highest level, although it's much less likely, can still happen. Especially if you're trying to poke your nose down the inside into the corners, which then forces the defending driver to have to position their car differently and pay attention to you, which can throw their line off, throw their braking points off as well. But it's not just about driving a car around on the track, it's pretty much mental warfare as well. And now Kutcher on the back of Matthewson, these two within a second of each other. Malili slightly further back. On board we go with Kutcher, heading up towards turn 1. Not more speed or entry there for Kutcher. He's gained about 2 tenths on entry. Martin, Adam, still separated by 3.3 seconds. They've been lapping very, very similar lap times. I mean, it's been about 3 seconds since, well, since they exited the pits, really, since the second stint. They've been separated by around 2 to 3 seconds. And that's Breen now into the pits. Is it a drive-through penalty for Breen? Yes, it is. That's the track limits. Track limits at Valencia, which is what I was talking about in the qualifying session. There's lots of flat curbs, which allows the drivers to push over the limits. If there was barriers there, it'd be a whole different story. But because there's not much risk involved for the drivers, you do often see them pushing the limits a bit too far, and hence picking up some track limit warnings and then drive-through penalties. And we have to go back on board there with Vasala in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It's caught back up to Mitchell. I thought that battle was over, but it's not. Vasala still within about half a second to Mitchell, though that gap looks to be a bit more now. Yep, up to about 0.8 there. Heading up towards turn 2. Kutscher even closer than before. This could be a brilliant overtaking opportunity here for Kutscher, but he doesn't go for it. Interesting that he doesn't. See, he is very, very close here, but he might have to do it this lap. Only 6 minutes remaining of the race, and there we go. He's forced Matheson to try and break the slipstream now. But Matheson's done that before. Perfectly illegal there from Matheson. And he's had an outstanding race as Matheson. I think this has been one of his best performances of the season so far. But we've still got one round after this left to go. The redo of Misano. It's going to be hard to top his performance after that, but if Matheson holds on to P3 here, it's going to be such an amazing job for him. Kutscher as well started in P6, he's made his way all the way up to P4 and is fighting now for P3, that final podium position. What can he do here? What can Kutscher do? His time is running out. Vasala as well, what can he do? Will Mitchell be able to hold on? Vasala just hasn't been able to get close enough at all. He needs to be much closer than that to be able to set himself up for an overtake, because Mitchell these last few laps has not been making any mistakes. Martin still leading the race then, 4 seconds to Adam. Doesn't look like that will change, but let's not put the commentator's curse on them. So they're approaching some traffic now. I think that's Breen in front of them, P11. Yes, it is. Breen's going to have to move out the way very shortly here. Blue flags are now being waved for Breen, but not really much space here to let them through. He can do it now. It's not choosing to do so just yet. But this is sort of bunching them up together, and Breen still not moving out the way here. I'm not sure what Breen is doing. He should have moved up the way by now, but maybe waiting till the start finish straight. There we go. Now he moves well out the way for the lead cars, but that forces Kutscher to go deep on the brakes. Milili as well is now closed right back up, and this 3-car battle once again very, very close for that final podium spot here. But Matheson is going to want Kutscher and Milili to continue to battle. Maybe that was his plan all along, is to back them up into each other so they battle and he can pull away and have a safe gap to then comfortably take the race win. And looks like Martin has pulled another 2 seconds to Adam. But Adam did a 34.4 that last time around, and Breen looks like he has lost the car. Yes, he has. Been struggling here, has Breen. But back to this battle then, and it looks like Vasala is, actually side by side here, I think, with Mitchell. Yes, they are side by side, and Vasala's got the inside to the next corner. And Mitchell looking for a bit of a switch back here. Is he going to go down the inside? Thinks of it, but has to back out of that. Has to overslow the car to avoid making contact. But the roles have reversed. Vasala, all he has to do, I say all he has to do, it's not easy with making mistakes like that. He's got to fend off Mitch for the last couple of laps here in this race, and that's Kutscher now side by side with Milili. It's all heating up here towards the final few laps of the race. Looking for a move down the inside. He's not going to go for it though, but forcing Kutscher deep into the corner, and Milili's now got the inside, and I think that's going to be it there. Milili should have the position done, but no, Kutscher still coming back at him, and Milili late on the brakes. He's had a lock-up, and he is sideways, and there we go. Kutscher holds on. That's where we saw Milili lose the car last time, actually. So braking a bit too late into that corner. Oh wow, Curtin mounting that inside curve there. But like I said, Matheson's plan has helped him slightly. He's pulled a second gap to Curtin, with them two battling behind him. And now he can relax for a bit. Doesn't have to think about defending just yet. And where is our race leader? Martin. This will be one more lap after this one. Lily started in P3, had a great qualifying session, but really seemed to struggle in the race. He's gone backwards, so it's just 3 positions this race, and it's not been too great for him. So I think his championship hopes could be out the window after this round, with Adam still in P2. Now where is Martin approaching the final corner? So we are about to go on to the final lap of the race now. Yeah, at Valencia. Now where is Curtin, Matheson and Mullard bunching up together once again. Matheson that last time, a bit of a slower lap, 4/10 slower than Curtin. Into the 33s now. Was Matheson, he was lapping 32s just before. And Martin will be entering, I believe, the final sector very shortly. Oh yeah, now into the final sector he goes. And it's been an outstanding performance from Martin. Just taking a look at the standings very quickly. So Mullard 475 and Adam on 508. But Martin here is going to cross the line to finish P1 here at Valencia. His first win of the season, and I believe his first podium as well, I think. I'll have to double check that, but Adam crossing the line in P2. Matheson is going to hold on to P3 there to take his first podium, I think, as well, of the season. He's got to be happy with that result. Curtin in P4, brilliant drive from him. Mullard down into P5, don't think he's happy with that, but finishes in style. Tillman in P6, then marching in P7, still got a bit to go, and looks like Rosado will probably be able to hold on to P8 against Mitchell. All he needs to do is bring it home now. Here we go, Demarsh is going to cross the line in P7, but there we have it. Martin P1, Adam P2, and Matheson P3. We'll be back just in a moment for some interviews, so make sure to stick with us. So we're going to get some interviews now with our podium of the race. And what brilliant racing we had here at Valencia. Racewear. Don't usually see many overtakes, and it is very difficult to overtake on, as we saw. Let's see, let's bring in our first driver to interview, Matheson, with his first podium. Brilliant result from you, and I was going to say what a way to end off the season, but we've still got one more round. We have to do Misano again. It's a bit of a shame, but a brilliant result for you.
Yeah, great. Can barely feel my fingers in my left hand. It was so tense. I've never raced that hard before for a long time. Mullard just did not give up. But yeah, great fun. But yeah, those guys are super quick in the front. No chance of getting anywhere near them.
I mean, maybe in the future, you never know. But,
yeah, we'll keep it up. But yeah, the first few laps was close. Good, clean racing from everyone. But yeah, tyres were gone while so quick on that track. It's so hard within 10 minutes. You just got nothing left.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. You had the top runners who did their fastest lap like 10 minutes in, and then after that, you could see the times dropping off as you approach the halfway mark. But
yeah, you're basically doing the fastest laps you've got with maximum fuel.
Yeah,
it's utterly bizarre. But yeah, Mullard was rapid. Just glad to manage to defend, and then when he did go by, I managed to switch it back. So yeah, really good. I've said thanks to him already because he was fantastic tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it must be good finishing in front of.
Yeah, one of the good guys.
Yeah, in P2, he won last round as well.
Yeah,
around 6.
It won't happen too many times, but yeah, when it does, it's always fun.
Yeah, well, you never know. This could be the start of something new.
Yeah, no, the Ferrari just seems so planted here. I don't know. I'm not sure about Masado, but it feels good at this track. If the tyres do go off quick, it's absolutely rapid.
Yeah, but brilliant result from you, anyways.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we move on.
Catch you next week.
Yeah, move on to the final round.
Yeah, thanks for that.
There we have it. That was Russell Matheson with his first podium of the season. Brilliant racing, brilliant defending from him as well. And we'll bring in Cameron now, who took his first win of the season, finishing ahead of Tarek Adin, which very impressive job. And you've had a P3, you've had a P2, and now you've had a win. Don't think we can hear you. Nope, we can't hear you, unfortunately.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
I put it on to push to talk. No, I've crashed out or had a few incidents in other rounds, so it was nice to it was nice to win. I don't really know what happened because I somehow was quick. It was a bit weird.
But yeah, you had some brilliant pace. I mean, I think I saw when we were on board with you, Adam was really struggling with the rear of that Porsche, and I think that's where you maximised gaining on him. I think tyre wear was probably one of the biggest issues here at Valencia. So,
yeah, the tyre wear was bad. So I set the fastest lap in the first few laps, and then it wasn't even close after that. But yeah, I think that's how I passed Adam. He was struggling with grip at the rear or something. But it was a good race.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And moving on to the final round, Misano. How are you feeling? Obviously, we have to redo that, but
I guess a bit more practice there. I'm not super keen on the track. I just want to finish well and not get in any more incidents or anything. I think I don't know if I can get P3 in the championship, but it might be close.
It's going to be close, I think. But drop rounds have pretty much already been taken into account. I think your first round of the season you weren't able to make it. and P3 DeMarchi wasn't able to make it in round 3. So yeah, it's going to be close. P4 is definitely on the cards, and the P3. I mean, if you can bring home another podium, I think it will be very likely.
Yeah, that would be good. I would quite like that.
Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck, and we will see you for next round at Misano.
Thank you very much, and see you then.
Yep, see ya. There we have it, ladies and gents. That's it for today's race. Final round being next season. Obviously, like I mentioned many times, you had to delay or postpone Misano. A lot of the other championships have already finished, so we had the Next Level Racing Championship finish yesterday. We've got the penultimate round of the Moser Championship tomorrow, and then the final round of the Track Day Championship on Friday. But that's it from us today. Good night and take care.